A very good evening to all of you guys. Hope you guys are doing well. So let me first and foremost apologize for the 27-minute delay in starting the session. We were supposed to start at 6 p.m. Because I was supposed to get the power back in my area around 6 p.m. That's why we scheduled it at that time and couldn't do it during our normal scheduled time, that is from 4 to 6. But anyway, Pata, there was a bit of a delay, and even after the power return, it took some time for the, so the CEB guys got late with the power, and then the SLT guys, I don't know whether it's their fault or whatever it is. There was a bit of an issue for me to connect to the internet and then start the Zoom session. So it is what it is, as I said earlier. So let's start, right? So I hope you guys accept my apology and are okay with it. Let's have a productive learning session as much as possible, starting now. Are we okay, Putta? Yes, right. Okay. So with that, here we go. Now we are starting our ninth, session in terms of Unit 1, that is Introduction to Economics. As you guys know, because Unit 1 is Unit 1, which means because Unit 1 is the introductory unit for your one and only original or brand new subject for most of you guys in A-levels. Why is economics your one and only or the original brand new subject for most of you guys? Because if you're, especially if you're a commerce student, sometimes even if you're an art student, in O-levels, you guys do learn, most of you might have done this subject called business and accounting studies or accounting and business studies, where you have got a bit of an exposure. If you're doing accounting, business studies and economics for advanced levels, in O levels, you would have done a subject where you would have got some kind of an input in terms of business studies, in terms of accounting. But if you take those three subjects, right, economics would be the subject where you have not learned in O levels. So because it's a very, very new subject, truly a new subject, and this is Unit 1, I always, in all these different, all these many years that I've done A-level classes, take it very slow, but I keep in mind that I need to do a not very slow, but take it a bit slow. And also I keep it in mind to do a very, very comprehensive job when it comes to the first unit, because that is the unit, as the unit itself is titled Introduction to Economics, which provides a foundation we need. Okay. So in case some of you guys are wondering, maybe in your other subjects such as business studies, accounting, or the other subjects that you guys do, maybe you have gone further, you have completed the first unit, you are in the second or third unit by now. That's okay, Putta, because that is the nature of the way of those subjects. But when it comes to economics, and especially for that reason I mentioned earlier, we need to have a solid foundation in the very beginning. Yes, what I just said up to now, did it make sense, Putta? Is that clear? Of how we are looking at the first unit and why I'm doing it that way, right? Okay, so there's always, economics is a science and a logical subject, extremely logical subject, rational subject. So we need to have a logic for whatever we do, right? Okay. Then in terms of Unit 1, we have covered a certain area, right? We have covered a certain area and we are clear on what we have done up to now. So today we will complete our discussion on learning key number 3 in terms of your study material, where we will look at complete our discussion on economic goods, non-economic goods. Then we will go into capital and consumer goods. With that, we will complete the area learning key 3, and we will quickly look at the test your knowledge questions and move on to the final learning key, that I cover or that we cover in the first book, right? As I've shown this many times, all of you guys have this material, the first book for Unit 1. So the last part of this book is basically economic resources, where we talk about land, labor, capital, entrepreneurship. Is that clear? Right. So I think we are clear on what we are doing, where we are, and what we are hoping to do in the next few sessions. Right. Okay. So let's start with that then. So I'll start with the slides and okay, let's keep going. Right. So in terms of the area we are discussing, as I said, so let's use the slides to do a very quick recap, and then we'll go into economic, non-economic goods area. Yes, right. So, okay. The economic problem, we discussed all components of this jigsaw puzzle. We took time and went into detail and talked about everything, because this is the foundation. If there is a foundation for economics, the way of thinking in economics, this is it, right? So we took all the time we need and were very clear. Relative scarcity, alternative uses, problem of choice, and opportunity cost. When you put these four pieces together, the picture that is created, the puzzle that is completed, is what we call the economic problem, right? The economic problem. Then we looked at economic goods, right? Non-economic goods. Last week, we talked about economic goods. We have written a note in page number 28 about economic goods. Am I correct? Ladies, gentlemen, ladies. Yes, we have written a note on economic goods. Yep, very good. Right. How are we doing? Are we okay? We can hear clearly, right? And we are all taking the proactiveness we have to respond. Okay, very important. Right. Okay, good. Then, but so how did we describe an economic good? If you give the story of economic good or a definition of an economic good in a very summarized way, what would it be? Right? What would it be? An economic good. In the most summarized way, you can talk about it. Basically, in the most summarized way, an economic good would be, right? Last week we said that there is something that needs to come to the very top of this, very front of this. There's something we always think about first when we think about an economic good, right? And that's a really good way to know what is an economic good, because that helps a lot when you answer questions, right? When you think an economic good, right? When you think an economic good, okay, so let me illustrate that a bit. When you think an economic good, one of the very first things I want you guys to know and think about is what? A concept. I said, this is what is first seen, first known when you think of an economic good. Very good. Amani, brilliant. Anyone else who would like to contribute? Excellent. When you think of an economic good, what is the very first thing you think about? Anyone else who might remember? No? Okay. Right. Okay. Now, if there's anyone who is joining us for the first time today, because it's the beginning of a new month, sometimes that's when new students join in. Yes, if anyone is joining us for the first time today. Okay. Right. I'm sure you guys have an idea of what's going on, Putha, especially the areas you want to cover that you have missed in the past and all that. So if there's anyone, just let me say this quickly. If there's anyone who joined the class today newly for the first time, just sit through, listen to the lecture, and go through the whole thing, Putha. If you don't have the tute, maybe write the notes in a book, right? Anything that comes on this screen in blue color, is something you have to write a note. Anyway, a recorded version is also there. All that is okay. Just follow, much as possible. Just follow the session today. And after the class, after I finish, after I stop the recording, I will be there for a few more minutes. You can come and just, talk to me or just chat with me. And I will tell you anything you need to know, right, about the classes. Okay, right. So important thing, just go through the lecture. Right. Very good. So when you think economic good, one of the very first things that should come to your mind is it is about economic goods are goods that essentially create or have an opportunity, right? Opportunity cost. So you can't think about economic goods without thinking about opportunity cost. Why? Because economic goods are produced using, right? Economic goods are produced using, okay? That's why economic goods are called this. Sometimes economic goods are called what goods? Scarce goods. Why do we call economic goods scarce goods? Because we produce economic goods using, right, scarce resources, right? There's something wrong with the style also, apparently. Anyway, we use economic goods, right? We produce economic goods using scarce resources with, right? We know these things, the economic problem we talked about, with alternative uses. When you use scarce resources with alternative uses and produce anything, in that production, there will definitely be an opportunity cost. There will definitely be an opportunity cost. So because economic goods have an opportunity cost, two things we need to understand. Why do economic goods have an opportunity cost, Buddha? Why do economic goods have an opportunity cost? Economic goods have an opportunity cost because they are produced using what resources? Scarce resources with alternative uses. Yes. So therefore, economic goods always have an opportunity cost. Because economic goods have an opportunity cost, right? We realize economic goods are, number one, they are limited in availability or limited in supply. Why? Because of the effect of scarceness or scarcity is there. They are supplied using scarce resources. They have an opportunity cost. They are limited in supply. And not only that, economic goods, right? Economic goods, because there is a cost in production, opportunity cost is there. Economic goods have a, what do we say? Yes, economic goods always have a price. Economic goods have a price, but most of the time it is given, right? Most of the time it is given at a price, right? It is given at a price. If not, there are some situations economic goods are given or offered, right? We'll say at zero price. When something is given at zero price, we say it is given free. So just because an economic good, just because some good is given free, that doesn't mean it is always going to be a free good, a non-economic good. Even economic goods sometimes can be given at zero price. Economic goods always have a price. Whether we will always get them at a price is a different story. Economic goods always have an opportunity cost. Why? Because economic goods are produced using scarce resources with alternative uses. Because we are using scarce resources with alternative uses, when it comes to economic goods, the supply of economic goods is limited. Supply of economic goods is limited. When you put these concepts together, then we are talking about more or less what we like to call in economics, economic goods. Economic goods. Okay, looks messy, but I think the point is clear. Right. So all of you agree that we have written this note. So we say a good or service which is a direct outcome of a human-involved production process which uses limited resources with alternative users, human-involved production processes there, they are produced, right? Which can fulfill human wants. Now, this part I didn't touch on. That is the part where it's economic, yes, Buddha, but it's economic what? Economic good. The meaning we give for the word good in economics is anything that provides a satisfaction. Anything that provides a satisfaction or utility is a good. Anything that, what is the opposite of a good then? If good is defined as anything that provides a satisfaction, when we say good in economics, we mean good as well as service, goods and services both. So if a good is something that provides satisfaction, what is the opposite of that? What is that concept called? Yes, good. I'm getting some responses. I expect more responses. Okay. Very good. Amani, Akila, Netmi, Madija, very good. Yes. Anyone else who would like to add to this? All of you should try to respond. What is if a good is something that provides utility, what is the opposite of a good then? We have learned these concepts. I want you guys to know these and use them whenever the opportunity is there. Then we remember them properly. Anyone else? Good? Yes? Right. So, bad. Yes? Yes. Nuha also has responded correctly. Bad. So, anything that is good, then we talk about a bad. Bads create dissatisfaction. So, economic good. So, first, we are explaining the meaning. Okay, first we are explaining the meaning for the word good, economic. First we are explaining the meaning for the word economic. That is a good or service which is a direct outcome of human-involved production process. So human-involved production process which uses limited resources, scarce resources with alternative users. So that's the meaning for the word economic. Then the meaning for the word good is trying to be, we are trying to give it by saying it fulfills human wants, creates utility. Creates what? Utility. So creates utility. Utility is there. Are we clear? So because of what we said within the green color brackets, if you guys can see, that is human involved production process using scarce resources with alternative users, automatically, right, we have this next thing that we have to say, that is the production of economic goods shall obviously result in the creation of opportunity cost. Okay, right. And then because we are using scarce resources, the supply or the availability of economic goods tend to be limited. We want them more, our wants are unlimited, but the availability of economic goods that need to be produced using scarce resources are limited. Right. Then finally we say economic goods generally offered at a price. In a market, right? While certain situations are there offered at what? Zero price or free. That also can happen. It could be for welfare reasons, right? Mainly by government, right? Or maybe some charities, right? Promotional reasons by businesses. Sometimes we give things, economic goods, free of charge. So, but if two key learnings that I want you to have very, very clearly. I'm investing a lot of time here because it's so important. Two key learnings about economic goods is these are goods that create. So when I say economic goods, or when you hear economic goods, the very first thing I want you guys to what I want you to have in your mind is these are goods that have an opportunity cost, right? These are goods that have an opportunity cost. Not only that, we don't recognize, when I say opportunity cost, Putta, if you go back, right? Scarce resources, alternative uses. So supply is limited. All that you can think with opportunity cost. Okay, you can go back and think about those. But then the second thing is, don't decide whether a good is an economic good or a free good just because it has a price or just because it is given free of charge. Better way to say it. Just because something is given free, Putta, that doesn't mean it is a non-economic or free good. Even economic goods sometimes are given free of charge. So don't use the price of not having a price and having a price as the only way to decide whether good is an economic good or free good. When we will learn free goods now, and then I will come back and talk a bit more about this, how we look at this price thing, but mainly be clear on it. Okay, don't assume just because something is free, it is always a free good or a non-economic good, because sometimes, as I said many times, economic goods are given free of charge. Okay, right. Then your examiner talks about several features. So last week we wrote this, so I'm going to move on now. So it was a recap here, you can see, right? Economic goods versus non-economic or free goods discussion continues. Your examiner talks about these main properties, meaning we can say, right, the characteristics, or we can say the features, right? Features. So what makes a good, an economic good? The main features, properties. Production of economic goods use limited resources. So production of economic goods use limited resources, right? Use limited resources. We are very clear on that. Okay, use of limited resources, economic resources. Then supply of economic goods are limited. Supply is limited, right? Supply is limited. Production involves the use of limited resources. So you guys see the connection there, no? Because we are using limited resources, supply is limited. Then thirdly, there is an opportunity cost, very important, opportunity cost. Yes, there is a price. Is it always given at a price or not is a difference. So there is a price and we can find the price, and there is positive marginal cost. The word positive meaning, remember, we learned about this when we did opportunity cost. When we want to say there is an opportunity cost, we say positive. So economic goods have, for economic goods, opportunity cost is positive, marginal cost is positive. What does the word term marginal cost mean, Buddha? Good to be clear on small things. Marginal cost means the cost of producing, right? Cost of producing one extra, right? Or one more unit. If you want to produce one more unit, one extra unit of an economic good, then that extra unit has a cost. That cost is called the marginal cost. So cost in economics is opportunity cost. So when something has an opportunity cost, right? Not always, but most of the time, it will also have a marginal cost. It will also have a marginal cost. But marginal cost is that the cost of producing one extra unit. I'm sure you guys are making the necessary notes for your full understanding of the concept. Then we say, for economic goods, this is also a point we don't include in the definition part of it, but something we have to agree with. For economic goods, there's always a ownership, because there is a human involved production process. No, someone, individual or a business organization, or it could be the government. You know, government also can have business organization. Someone gets involved, human involvement is there. So some ownership is there. And we are using scarce resources and producing these goods. Okay, ownership is there. Right, are we clear about that? Are we okay? Ladies, I expect responses now. Okay, remember, response is key. That's the only way I know what I'm saying is registering with you guys. Problem otherwise. Okay, help me help you. Good. Good number of you guys are getting me that response I need, or giving me that responses I need, right? Few names I need to see more, right? Okay, few more names I need to see. Right, moving on. Now we are 100%, right? Now we are 100% on economic goods. For any of my intelligent virtual students, there is no confusion, no doubt, no gray area when it comes to identifying what is an economic good, right? Then we'll talk free goods. Okay. So these properties, I said your examiner, your professors talk about it, right? Okay, in their textbooks. Then economic goods versus non-economic goods. Economic goods versus non-economic goods. Now we'll talk non-economic goods. So economic goods is done. Now non-economic goods. So when we talk non-economic goods, remember how we looked at economic goods? Yes. How did we look at economic goods? We said when we talked economic good, what was the whole that messy spiderweb thing we had? Right? Some people call it different names, but we'll just call it the key points we identified. No, right? When it comes to economic goods, right? When it comes to economic goods, what did we talk about? We said we kept what in the center? We said if something is an economic good, right? Economic good. What did we say? It will essentially have an opportunity cost, right? This is the best way to learn non-economic free opportunity cost if it's economic good. Okay, right. Then we said there is an opportunity cost because we are using scarce resources with alternative uses. Yes or no? Scarce resources with alternative uses. Because we are using scarce resources, we said the supply is limited. Supply is limited. Yes or no? And opportunity cost means we are incurring a cost. So that means economic goods have a price. Definitely there is a price. So it could be given at a price, right? Given at a price, all right? So we say at a price or free. Both are possible, but there is a price. So these key things we connected, right? We connected when it came to economic goods, right? So we talked about all of this and we identified, okay, now we know that what an economic good is, this kind of a connection, this kind of a link we talked about, okay, right? How do we replace this, Pata, if it's a free good or a non-economic good? Non-economic good, of course, we said the good means create satisfaction, creates utility, right? Fulfills a want, right? Ladies and gentlemen, can you guys help me, right? So when you hear the term non-economic good, what is the first thing you should say? For economic good, if we said opportunity cost, for non-economic good, what do we say? Economic goods, we say positive opportunity cost. But remember, Pata, when you want to say opportunity cost is not there, we don't say negative, we say zero. So what should we say with opportunity cost? Very good, right? Excellent. All of you who are responding are doing that well. Good. Yes. Yes, Christine, correct. Excellent. Anyone else? Right. Yes, Fatima, correct. Yes. So, Pata, when something is a non-economic good, one of the very first things that should come to your mind is, right, it has basically zero opportunity cost. It has zero opportunity cost. The moment it has zero opportunity cost, why does it have zero opportunity cost? Right? Because scarce resources with alternative users, right? We can say does not use, right? So we'll say does not use scarce resources with alternative uses. Because we do not use scarce resources with alternative uses, right? Because we don't use scarce resources with alternative uses, what happens? We do not have, okay, opportunity cost. When we don't have opportunity cost, right? We don't have opportunity cost, then what happens, right? We will not have a price. So, because we are not using scarce resources, supply is not limited, supply is unlimited. I hope that's clear, right? Supply is unlimited in supply, right? And the unlimited supply, unlimited availability is there at, what do we say? Zero price, right? At zero price, free. That's why we use the word free. Zero price, freely available, unlimited in supply. So therefore, we refer to them as non-economic goods, or we use the term, what goods? Free goods. We use the term free goods. I hope you guys are clear, right? It's very easy if you look at it this way. So we say this is printed and given, I assume. Am I correct? Page 28, it's printed and given. Non-economic goods or free goods, right? Yep, correct, Pradha. Christine, correct. No ownership. Can't have an ownership because it's a natural supply, it's naturally created, right? You can't claim ownership for non-economic goods, free goods. A free good or free or non-economic good, goods are goods with the ability to fulfill human wants. That is that part. You guys know what that part, right? The part where we talk about the word good, right? Ability to fulfill human wants. So that is important to say. Okay, done. That's done, right? The good part, okay? Fulfilling the needs, utility part. Utility, right? Then going back to the blue color we were using. Now the non-economic part, let's clear that now, which are unlimited in supply. Why are they unlimited in supply at zero price? Since the creation of free goods does not involve the use of, does not involve the use of scarce resources, right? Scarce resources with so does not involve the use of scarce resources. No, does not. Use of free goods has zero opportunity cost when we use them, because they are not produced now. So for economic goods, we say production of economic goods has a positive opportunity cost or creates opportunity cost. For free goods, we use the word use. Using free goods, we don't need to produce them. They are available naturally, but using them does not create opportunity cost. So zero, word is that, zero opportunity cost. Or we say, another way to say is free of opportunity cost. Economic goods are positive of opportunity cost. Non-economic goods are free of opportunity cost. Free of opportunity cost. So give that opportunity cost the key. The central focus is that opportunity cost. Zero opportunity cost. Non-economic goods are known as free goods because they are freely available in nature, when the supply is present, whenever the supply is there, during daytime, daylight, right? If you're above the surface of the earth, fresh air, yes, oxygen, whatever. If you're during the rainy season, rainwater, right? Or if you're in a river, especially during the rain river water, these things, when the supply is available, but the unlimited, there's no scarcity, there's no limitation, right? Supply is present, unlimited, freely available. So free goods, no price, nothing. The consumption of free goods by one person. That's another important thing that explains that now in economic goods, we said there is a marginal cost. No, marginal cost can be there, positive, right? Free goods, there is no opportunity cost. There is zero opportunity cost. Free goods, non-economic goods, zero opportunity cost, zero marginal cost. When you try to provide it to one person, there is no additional cost or nothing because it's available. When one person uses a free good, that doesn't mean someone else has less of a free good, right? So that's also kind of an interesting way to talk about a free good, non-economic good. The consumption of free good by one person will not reduce the amount of the good available for others. So this is this point, Putta, in a very easy way we can say free goods, right? We can say perfect collective consumption. Perfect collective consumption. Perfect meaning fully. Collective consumption. Collective, together. All of us can consume at the same time. Sometimes later on you will hear this word called non-rival in consumption. Non-rival, no competition in consumption. No competition in consumption. All of us can consume at the same time when it comes to free or non-economic goods. Look at these examples, right? I'm sure the examples are given. If not, you guys might need to write it. Just check your notebook. Is it given, the examples? Ladies, gentlemen, my intelligent students, are the examples given? Yeah, given. Excellent. Right. So fresh air. Okay. Fresh air. Given. Thank you. Rainwater. Right. Rainwater. Don't say just water. It can be confusing. Sunlight, daylight, stuff like that. Now for example, if you're with a friend or someone, a family member or someone sitting next to you or at home or in your garden or wherever, if you go, there's a person next to you, say you took my air. Now because you took a breath, I have less available. Does that ever happen? Is that a logical argument? Oh, yes or no? No. So one person, many people at the same time, we can do that. Someone can't claim, no, but someone can't say because you took a breath, I have less. Of course, if you are in a confined environment without any oxygen supply, limited supply, whatever, not 10, all that is fine. But when it's freely available, right, unlimited in supply, right, in normal conditions, with one person breathing doesn't mean someone else goes out of breath, no? Get it? Right? Or that person can't say that you took my air, and that person can't say you took my air. Second thing, first, that a person cannot say because you took a breath, I have less to breathe. Second thing, another person can't say because you took my air, because there is no ownership here. If there is no my air, your air, doesn't work. We don't separate it and use it. It's for everyone. Is that clear? Right. So let's be very clear on these simple points, but very important points, that free goods, right, don't have this problem where many people cannot use them at the same time. Free goods, many people can use them at the same time. Perfect collective consumption is possible. And remember, these are available freely when the supply is there. During night time, you can't say sunlight is available unlimited. No. Then we have to artificially create it. That's an economic good. When you want to play a day and night match or something like that, that's different. But during daytime, it's there. Rainwater, also same way. Okay. So are we clear? Right. Yes, let's move on. Talk about the properties. Economic goods versus non-economic goods. Main properties or features, characteristics of non-economic goods. You guys can start writing and I will explain along with that. There is zero opportunity cost. There is zero opportunity cost. And also there is no price, and there is what? Zero marginal cost. Marginal cost is also zero. So we start with this. Opportunity cost is zero. Then obviously there is no price. right? Free goods do not have a price. Free goods do not have a price. Economic goods have a price, sometimes may be given free of charge, right? I hope you guys are concentrating a bit on what I'm saying. Free goods, right? Okay. Free goods do not have a price. Economic goods have a price, but may not always be offered at a price. You might get it free of charge. Okay. Marginal cost is also zero for non-economic goods. Then we say supply of free good is unlimited, right? Unlimited, and the supply is determined by nature. Naturally supplied, no, right? It's not determined by humans. Free goods use abundant factors. Abundant factors meaning unlimited resources, and there is no commercial value. No commercial value. That's why they are not offered in a marketplace, right? They are not. Okay. Free goods are not for sale. Let's put it simply. Not for sale. Free goods are not for sale. Not offered in a marketplace. Is it clear? Right. Then finally we say, obviously there is no ownership. There can't be an ownership, no, for free goods. They are naturally provided. So no ownership of free goods, non-economic goods. Now, while you guys are quickly writing this, please give a ear or both ears to what I'm saying, so that we are clear on this point also. That is, Pata, now when it comes to, right, when it comes to this concept of free goods, non-economic goods, when it comes to these concepts, right, very common, there are few things we have to be very clear. Otherwise, when there are questions in the exam, we might get a bit confused, MCQ or second paper. Now, one thing is, don't decide, right? Don't decide. Okay, let's see. I'll make a few statements. I think it will make sense for you, right? One way we can say this is, right? All goods, right? All goods given free or available free are not free goods. Remember, in economics, we have a definition for free goods, no? Right? But can you see, is it too high, too much there on the edge of the slide? Or can you guys see? Can you guys read that, what I just wrote? Yeah, please let me know. Yeah, can read. Okay. So what have I written? All goods given free are not free goods. Why? So another way to say that is, another thing you can remember is, because economic goods are not always given at a price, are not always given at a price. It can be sometimes given free of charge. Economic goods are not always given at a price. Now, don't get that mixed up. Economic goods always have a price, right? But they can be given free of charge. So, you don't have to memorize all of this. I'm just saying these different ways when you read, you need to understand what they are saying. Okay. Then we say now free, or this time I would like to say non-economic, right? Free or non-economic goods are always at zero price. Another way to say is are always free. So if it's a non-economic good, it's always free. It doesn't have a price. But just because you get something free, don't jump to the conclusion it is a non-economic good. That's a catch here. That's a key. So all these things, if you summarize it, right, you can say, no, one more thing, and then I'll give the ultimate, just one thing you can remember, where you will be reminded of all of these things. So this is also important. Again, but don't memorize, just work with me and understand. That's enough, right? The definition, properties, all that you need to know, but we'll do this in a simple way, logical way. No, sorry. English. A free good. A free, meaning non-economic good, can become, right? It happens when the supply is not there, right? Can become an economic good. A free good can become an economic good. For example, air, oxygen. If you are going diving, you know, we'll say in the sea, deep sea, if you're going diving, Putta, you need oxygen, no? But then you take the oxygen in oxygen cylinders, tanks, right, on your back. So the oxygen in those cylinders or tanks, they are oxygen, but they are not free. They are an economic good. Through a production process, we have made the tanks, the cylinders, filled them with oxygen and all that. So it's an economic good. So oxygen of air is normally a free good, but in certain situations, it can become an economic good. As I said earlier, when you want to play a day and night or some sports event at night, some concert at night, because you don't have the natural sunlight, then you have to use these huge lights and create something similar to daylight. So those are situations where otherwise a free good now becomes an economic good. Artificially we create it, right? Can become a free good can become an economic good, right? I'll use simple English, but an economic good, right, under any situation cannot become a free good. Cannot become a free good, no, Buddha. Because the word free for us is not the price. The word free for us in economics is not just about the price. The word free meaning it should not use limited resources with alternative users, should not have an opportunity cost, should be unlimited in supply. So economic good can't have those because economic goods are produced, which means there is a use of limited resources, there is an opportunity cost. Think about that. Okay. So all of these together, right? I'll write one final thing, then we are okay. So it should make sense to you then. I'll use a different color, right? The ultimate or penultimate thing to remember is the very, very popular statement in economics. This has been tested, right? That got messed up anyway. Is, right? There is nothing called or nothing known as a free lunch. I know it's all of a sudden it seems that we went somewhere else, right? So what is this famous saying in economics? There is nothing called a free lunch. There's nothing called a free lunch. Very famous saying. What does that mean when we say there's nothing called a free lunch? Nothing is actually free as long as it is produced, as long as it is created, as long as it is an economic good. It can never be actually free because it will always have an, right? The implied meaning here is, right? Economic goods always have an opportunity cost. Economic goods always have an opportunity cost. Now, you guys might be thinking, from the day I can remember, no, not the day you were born, you can't remember all that, no. From as far as I can remember, right? Most of the lunches I have had, not only lunch, the breakfast, the lunch, the dinner, or if you want breakfast, brunch, lunch, supper, dinner, everything, right? Right? For me, you might be thinking, Buddha, has been free. So, yes, but who is incurring opportunity cost by allocating their hard-earned money to provide, buy the food items and provide you lunch? There is an opportunity cost there, no? You might be getting your lunch free, but who is having an opportunity cost? Here, Putta, the word lunch means not only lunch, right? Anything, right? Who is incurring an opportunity cost? Every time you are given a plate of food, there is an opportunity cost for it. No, who is incurring that opportunity cost? Come on. You get it free, but it is not actually free. It has an opportunity cost. Who is facing that opportunity cost? Ladies, who is facing that opportunity cost? Yes, very good. Your parents. They have to face that opportunity cost. If you go for some school event or something like that, Putra, if lunch is provided, we'll say, then you might be getting it free. But the school or some organizers of that event have to incur the opportunity cost. There is a cost there. So there is nothing called about lunch, Putra, free lunch. Are we perfect now? Are we 100%? If you guys say yes, we can do one more exercise and we are done. Okay, right. You guys should be able to now, any of your schoolmates, any of your friends who most probably might be joining our classes in the near future. But meanwhile, right, even after they join the classes, if they have doubts about these things, if they are missed, you should be able to explain to them perfectly. This is what it is. This is what an economic good, non-economic good is, right? That's also a good way to study also, by explaining things to someone, right? Okay, make sure they are willing to listen, right? Right, so then let's get this done. Right, okay, application. What is appearing, I want you to say whether they are economic goods or free goods. School textbooks given free by the government, GOSL meaning Government of Sri Lanka. What do you think? Economic or free? Quickly. I want every single person in the session to respond. Give a response. Either say economic or either say free. Every single person. Don't make me read out the names. We don't have time for it. So I want you guys to be proactive, not reactive. Quickly respond. Economic or non-economic? Economic or non-economic? Quickly respond. No, I need more responses. I'm looking at the participant list. I'm looking at the response list. I'm seeing some names not missing there. Economic, non-economic. Economic, non-economic. Okay. Most of you have responded correctly. I'm happy to say that. Few more to respond. What's happening? Economic good or non-economic good? The textbooks you guys got when you were schooling up to O levels, you get textbooks. They were given free by the government. Economic or non-economic? Okay, remember the definitions. We have learned the concept. There's nothing called a free lunch. Just because you get something free, is it truly free? We don't just look for the price before we make the decision. In economics, free doesn't mean just because you get something free of charge. In economics, free doesn't mean just because you get something free of a price. That is not the meaning for the word free in economics. We know that, no? Right? We are very clear on that. Right. So as most of you guys have responded correctly, right? Most of you guys have responded correctly. But if there is anyone in this session who did not provide a response, next time you need to do so, right? The objective is not to somehow avoid responding, somehow stay as silent as possible. You know, some people have that attitude. Some people think, you know, I am of course, you know, very quiet. I don't go and you know, I'm always in the background. I don't get in. That attitude doesn't work when you learn something, right? You should be willing to respond. You should be willing to make mistakes. Then you learn. That's okay. And also, especially in virtual learning, Puta, online learning. Now, if you have chosen virtual learning over physical classes, then you need to be having this attitude. We talked about this before. Participate, be proactive, keep responding, right? Always you should be engaging with the class. Then only virtual learning is your way of learning. If not, you should be in a physical class. If you're not going to respond, if you're not going to participate, if you want to just sit back and just let the others respond, no, kind of an attitude, if you have problem with that, we can't do this, right? You talk to your parents and try to get yourself into a physical class soon as possible, right? I'm sorry, as a teacher, it's my responsibility to be clear. Right, very good. Most of you have got it done correctly. Here, the textbooks are equal to lunch. No, textbooks are equal to lunch, right? Why? Why are they equal to lunch? Because government is giving it free of charge, but the government is spending millions of rupees to more than 4 million. 4 million school children in Sri Lanka from grade 1 to grade 11, definitely. Government is spending millions of rupees of funding or limited money, and they are trying to compose and print and provide textbooks. So obviously, it has an opportunity cost. It is created by a human involved process. The money used to print and provide textbooks could have been used to build hospitals, could have been used to develop the roads, could have been used to give benefits to the Samurdhi beneficiary families. Get what I'm saying? Could have been used to give pension payments, could have been used for many things. So there is an opportunity cost. There's an opportunity cost. Right? Right? There is an opportunity cost. Puta, I will continue the session, which is a opportunity cost or a sacrifice I am also making. I'm referring to the request made by you, Khadija. Right? I will continue the session, but a recorded version of it is available, right? For these exact reasons we are recording, because there are students who might not be observing this practice. So I need to keep the class neutral and fair by everyone. Yes? Right. Okay? Sure. Definitely, Buddha. Right? You don't need to ask. Definitely, right? Don't let the class or anything interrupt that. Okay? But don't worry. The recorded version is also there. Okay? Right. I hope you are broad-minded enough to understand what I'm saying. Right. Excellent. Okay. Good. So, school textbooks given free by the government is a what good, Puta? Then it's an economic good. Anyone has a confusion? Please ask. If you thought any differently, please ask. I think I gave a solid logic there. Okay. What about these things? Open source or free statistics that you can find from websites, Google, and all that, you know, and Google search engine itself. You know, you ask Professor Google things, no? Right? When you search something on Google, Google search engine, open source or freely available statistics that you can find, are these economic goods or non-economic goods? Now, the catch is what you learn from the earlier situation is, don't focus on whether it's given free or at a price. I am trying to mislead you by using that word. Focus on what is the good itself and ask the question. Then it's easy. Focus on what is the good itself. Okay. Again, shall we quickly do this? All of you guys, now we know that we have to respond as virtual students, online students, right? Okay. So, Amina, yes, Amani, Amna, Akila, Aisha, Christine, Emma, Fatima, Hasini, Khadija, Madija, then Nadishani, Netmi, Nuha, Sashini. Yes, am I getting responses now? Yes, good. If I mention your name and you didn't respond, problem. Okay, right, good. Right, excellent. I need all of you to contribute. Just say what you think based on what you understood, based on the knowledge we have. That's all. Economic good or non-economic good. That's all. Economic, non-economic, or economic free. That's it. Right. Let's see. Let's look at your overwhelming responses. Brilliant, Putha. All of you are responding. Great. That's what we want. Right? Simple thing. Okay. Nothing more. Okay. Right. Now again, most of you seem to have got it right. Right. Most of you seem to have got it right. Okay. The idea is this, as we did with the earlier one, the word free there is to mislead you. Okay. Because we don't decide whether something is an economic good or a non-economic good just by looking at whether it's given at a price or whether it's given free of charge. Why? We don't get caught to that trap. What is the trap? Because even economic goods can be given free of charge for welfare and promotional purposes. So we don't get caught to that. Okay. So what we do is, more than looking at whether it's given free or at a price, we like to look at the what is the good itself. What are we talking about? Right? So statistics, Google search engine, these are not naturally created, no, Buddha. They are not available in nature, no? Right? They are available. We can use them a lot. As far as we have data or bandwidth or connectivity, we can go on the net and find these things and use Google and all that. True, I agree. But even then, they are now the company, the parent company of Google, that is Alphabet, right? That's what they are called, isn't it? Right? So Alphabet will have to invest millions and millions and millions of dollars. Software developers, coders, and engineers have huge servers and all that and provide this service. So there's a huge major use of scarce resources, which means there is opportunity cost. We get the benefit of that free of charge. That's true, but they are not free. There's nothing called a free lunch. Lunch here is statistics and Google search engine. There's nothing called a free lunch. These are a result of a human involved production process given to us free of charge, because that's how they get more people to subscribe their services, use their services. And then people who advertise on Google, then people who publish these statistics and do the research and all that, they earn through those means, through advertising and other things, not from the users. Is that clear? So it's again economic good and economic good. Again, if you're confused, if you thought differently, let me know, right? Please try to get the application part. That's very important, right? Try to get the application part. No longer get caught to this thing called just because something is free, don't jump to the conclusion it's a free good. Look at the good. Okay, right. Is water an economic or free good? Is water an economic or free good? That's a question. Is water an economic good or a free good? What do you think? Yes. Okay. Some of you guys are saying both. Some of you guys are saying economic. Okay. The word is Puta, I think you guys will both. Okay, free, good, excellent. Can be both. Okay, free, both, right? So yeah, I think both. Okay, can be both. It depends on when you want to say something is something can be more than one thing, Puta. I think what you're saying is it's subjective. No, it's subjective, right? Or it depends on the context. What is the English word, Buddha? It depends on the context. It depends on the context, situation. Water, in what context are we talking about? Yes, in what way are we talking about water? Then only we can answer the question. No, just if I ask you water, economic or non-economic, difficult to answer. It depends on the context. So let's look at this. Water in this context, bottled water, pipe-borne water, economic good or non-economic good? I want all of you to respond and get this right. Think and respond. Bottled water, pipe-borne water, water, economic or non-economic? All of you should respond. Take the challenge. Have the attitude, the winning attitude, please. Right? If you're not responding, only reason the English word, I'm sorry, this is not, I'm not trying to be rude, but the English word is you're simply being lazy. That's all. Don't go and say, right? Sir called me lazy and all that. No. Economics, not emotional, rational. Right. Done? Okay. Let's see. So most of you guys are saying it's, you're not sure? Water? Are you sure with your responses? Is it correct? You guys are sticking with your answer? Okay. Right? Be confident. Right. Very good. I admire the confidence that most of you have, and I admire that most of you took the time to respond. That's a right attitude to have. Yes, but it is an economic good, because when you find water in nature, naturally, it doesn't come in bottles, no man. You know, when you dig a well or something, you don't get, you get water, right? You don't get water in the bottle itself, right? You don't pluck water bottles from a tree. They are not natural. They are obviously, my God, man-made, right? Or result of a human involved production process. Water in a bottle, pipe-borne water. You go and open the tap at home, but the water comes out. You don't say, from now, maybe you can look at now, okay, just don't call it water, economic good, right? Because we have to spend a lot of money and have the water, collect the water, purify the water, then use pumps and, you know, send it through the pipelines. And my God, it's a massive thing. So pipe-borne water, bottled water, obviously are economic goods. Then in what context situation is water non-economic good? When it's rainwater, when it's river water, then we say they are non-economic goods. They are non-economic or free goods. Anything is like that, but always be clear. Right? Lakes, streams, yes. In natural form, waterfalls, springs, water springs are there, no? All that, you know, wow, all that, right? Now, the thing is this. Now, you have to be careful now. When we say Vavak tank, right? That is, if it's man-made, then think a bit. The water in that, is it a free good? Right? Because we are collecting it, that the whole thing is made, then you have to think. Well water might not be a free good, will be an economic good, because the well is created by people. These tube wells are there, nulling, right? Where you do that and take water, not again free, economic. Look at that human involvement. If it's purely naturally available, then it's a non-economic good. Okay, are we clear? Right, good for you guys. Excellent. So pretty comprehensive discussion. Right, now let's talk, depends on the context. That's what we are saying. Right, depends on the context. Next, capital goods, consumer goods. Let's not take too much time. It's very straightforward. So I'll get you guys to write something here. But what is the main difference between capital goods and consumer goods? Now, in economic, non-economic, the keyword I kept on saying was opportunity cost. No? Has an opportunity, positive opportunity cost, zero opportunity cost. Here, the keyword is very simple. Usage. What is the word? Usage. What are these goods used for? Goods used to produce other goods and services are capital goods. Goods not used to produce other goods and services but for our own consumption are consumer goods. Let me repeat. Goods used to produce other goods and services are capital goods. Goods used for our own consumption, not used to produce other goods and services, rather used for our own consumption, are consumer goods. So it's all about the usage. It's all about the usage. Is that clear? But very simple. Don't overthink. If you overthink, you get confused. But be logical. Capital goods, start writing. We'll write a few points. Goods which are used to produce other goods and services. That is the key. So the main focus is on the usage. Usage. What are we using this for? Capital goods. Start writing. Capital goods are produced or man-made goods, man or human-made goods. Sometimes this is a good word today when you live in 2022, right? Human-made goods, right? Human-made goods used in the process of producing consumer goods. So to produce consumer goods, we need capital goods. That doesn't mean capital goods become consumer goods. To produce consumer goods, we need capital goods. Okay, I think that's clear. So right, then we say then third point, capital goods tend to be durable assets. A real good word we use in important word we use in economics is we always look at capital as real assets, machinery, equipment, building, that kind of an idea, not the financial, but the real things. So yes, we can use them over a period of time. There is depreciation. We can talk more and more, but these are the key points you should know. First point is simply the key difference, usage. Consumer goods. I'm sure you guys are writing this quickly. Consumer goods. Goods not used to. Again, the focus is on the usage. Focus is on the usage, right? Used to produce other goods and services. Instead, use for final consumption, for our consumption, to satisfy our wants and needs. Consumption, right? Consumer goods. So don't just say consumer goods are goods used for consumption. Then you don't show the difference. So say consumer goods are goods not used to produce other goods and services and used for final consumption. Then it's complete, right? Then consumer goods can be both durable and non-durable, right? So we have durable consumer goods like, you know, the electronic items we use at home, the furniture we use, our personal devices we use, the personal vehicle we use, you know, the bicycle you guys use. All of these are durable consumer goods. Non-durable consumer goods are ideally things like food items, medicine, you know, then the certain personal care things we use, from soap to toothpaste to things like that. Those are, yes, sometimes we refer to clothes also as non-durable. There's an argument on that. That's a different story. So all of these are non-durable, where the usage comes to an end once we use it. But durable, we can use them again and again. I think you guys are clear. Okay. So write this quickly and let me know when you are done. Next, we write a small note saying that to be careful when you recognize a capital consumer, don't look at the good, but look at the usage. Right? Look at the usage. So if you guys can just let me know once you're done writing, Kuta, there's a small part to write. After that, we are done with this. Right. Done. Excellent. Then just make this note, right? So where we need to be very clear that whether given good is a capital good or consumer good, it doesn't depend on the nature of the good or what kind of a good we are talking about. It depends on the usage. What do we use the good for? What do we use the good for? So I've given some examples. We'll say a television, a printer, a computer, right? These kinds of things for that. Keep writing this, quickly get it done. These kinds of things. Now, a television, you can't say it's always a consumer good, no, just because it's a television. Because now if you go to, for example, a private hospital, right, you will find television screens all over the place, right, where they have different channels and programs, where you sit and wait and you forget that the doctor is late, right? So a hospital is using the televisions to provide a service. So goods used to provide a good or other goods and services is capital goods, no? So in that context, the television is a capital good. That is a usage. But the same television or television you have at home is a consumer good, consumer durable. Computer, same thing. You have a personal computer that you use, a laptop or whatever you use. That is your consumer. That's a consumer good. But in an office, in a business environment, if they use, commercial environment, if they use, that's a capital good. A printer, same thing. But of course, there are certain goods that are very explicitly, very obviously, we can say that they are capital goods. Especially these heavy machinery and things like that. They are not used for consumer consumption purposes under any circumstance. So big, heavy machinery. Then certain vehicles like land moving equipment or vehicles. Now there is this land moving thing called a backhoe, you know, right? Some people call it JCB, that's a brand, right? A backhoe, you know, that with that thing and all that, right? Now, would anyone be using a backhoe as a family vehicle? Just think about that for a few seconds. Can a backhoe be a land moving huge, this backhoe or a, you know, something like that? Can it be a consumer good under any situation? No, no. So not that your, you know, your family vehicle is a backhoe and when you want to go for classes or go somewhere, you get into that front thing that comes like this and you hold on and go places. No, it's ridiculous. It's always a capital good. An ambulance, think of an ambulance. An ambulance is what? Always about good. Capital good. No, I think it's illegal to use an ambulance as your personal vehicle, right? It would be nice. You can get to places very quickly and in a noticeable way, but it's always going to be a capital good. So an aircraft, okay, of course, there are private jets and things like that. You know, a large ship or something, there are private yachts and things like that are there, right? Super yachts and all those things are there. But generally, there are things, trains, you know, stuff like that. They tend to be capital. They will not be consumed, right? Okay. Are we okay? Capital consumer, we are done. Yes. Yes or no? What? Thumbs up, thumbs down? No, nothing. Done? Clear? Right. Excellent. Now we know the distinction. We are good to go. Right. So next we need to quickly look at the T by case, test your knowledge questions. I think I asked you guys several times to attempt these. Have you attempted, Putta? From page 30 to 33? Can we quickly check your answers, please? Yeah. Ladies, and yes. Can I get some response here? We have attempted. We have looked at them. Right. Now we are going to get the, we are going to check your answers. Right. Okay. I hope you made use of the opportunity to attempt them. So let me share the study material on the screen. Right. And okay. So learning key. Number 3. Did we do some of these, Pata? Or none of these? Can someone help me here? Did we do some of this? No, none of them. Right. Okay. We'll get it done. Now, the first question, you have to match the concept with the correct description. The definition given, you have to match the concept with the number. Okay. But of course, one of these I have foolishly or by not purposefully, right? Due to my human error, I have robbed the opportunity from you. But anyway, okay. A, the first one, a commodity or service that uses limited resources in its production, in the production process, which is limited in its supply due to the use of scarce resources with alternative uses, the production which involves opportunity cost. What is A? What is A? What is the number at least for the word? Okay, good. You guys are responding. I need more responses, please. What is A? Okay. What is A? Remember, it's talking about a commodity or a service, meaning a good or a service. We're talking about a good or a service. So what is A? Yes, A, correct response is, right, number 3. Why? Because it is an economic good. Clearly, there is the use of limited resources. There is our keyword, opportunity cost involved in it. So it's an economic good. Right. Then the opportunity cost is the, so this is the problematic thing, Buddha, where I've done the terrible mistake of, I've mentioned the word itself. I should have not mentioned opportunity cost. I should have simply said the value of, if these things are not there, simply the value of next best alternative sacrificed or foregone when a choice has to be made among alternative choices. Then you guys will clearly say, this is opportunity cost, number 1. So I have robbed that from you. I'm really sorry. Robbed the learning opportunity from you to test your knowledge. Then C, a resource or a combination of resources can be used to produce more than one particular good or may represent multiple productive uses. Multiple productive uses. Sometimes this is called competing ends. So what's the concept then? Competing ends, multiple productive uses. I need more responses. I need multiple responses, please. Right? Yes, good. See, you guys are smart to make full use of this opportunity to participate in the discussion. Then you learn, you remember, right? Brilliant. Right. So yes, number 4, alternative uses. Alternative uses. Then D, a good which is not a direct outcome of a human involved production process. Not a direct outcome of a human involved production process, which is able to fulfill human wants. These goods are available in abundance at 0 price. I purposely not talked about opportunity cost, but available at abundance at 0 price. What is the correct answer? Yes, very good. Most of you guys are very quickly and correctly responding. Excellent. That's how we do this. Number 6, right? I'm going to take the number you guys are given. I can't see it. It's on the top of the screen. Number 6 is hopefully free or non-economic goods. Free or non-economic goods. E, a decision every society has to make in the process of satisfying unlimited human wants using relatively limited resources with alternative uses. With the focus, remember, we are talking about a decision. We are talking about a decision. I didn't make it clear. We are talking about a decision. So it's not a situation we are looking at, but a decision if you have to make, then what is the word we have to use? What are we talking about? I'm getting some responses. Most of you guys are indicating a number. Is that correct? What is number 5? Is it choice? If number 5 is choice, then your answer is correct. I hope it is choice. Let me scroll up quickly. Yes, problem of choice. Done. Correct. So again, quick responses are really good. Well done. Then F, the limitedness or inadequateness. when you hear those words itself, I think the idea is clear. Of a given society's productive resource endowment in comparison to their human wants or unlimited human wants. Yes, our central concept, what is this? Our central concept, that is scarcity of resources. Scarcity of resources. Is it number 2, Buddha? Yes, very correct. Number 2. Right, done. Okay, I'm sure all of you were okay with this and you got this done without a problem. Now let's look at some past paper questions and try to focus on these. 2011, 2019. Okay, which of the following is a scarce resource, a limited resource? Coal, water, skilled labor, time, and all of the above. Remember, in your MCQs, in your MCQ paper, you have to either find the correct answer or the most appropriate answer. There is one answer. Okay, right. So coal, maybe some of you guys are thinking coal meaning gallanguru, right? Some of you, you know, our Norachole whole fun we are having, right? The coal power plant, I mean. Coal is a mineral resource that comes from the earth. You might be thinking coal is natural. It comes from the earth. So maybe it's a free good. Free resource. Okay, you can think that way. But coal, when we take it out, when we start using it, Putta, we realize that there is a limitation there. Okay. Then water, we agreed. Water, if you just say water, it could be non-economic, it could be economic. We can't come to a decision like that. So in that case, if you are unsure, that can't be 100%. We can't say it is a scarce resource. 100% we can't say it is a non-economic or unlimited resource also. But in most contexts, if you look at it broadly, water is also something in a limited quantity, right? From the economist point of view. A skilled labor, yes, obviously it's a limited resource, right? A scarce resource. Time is the most scarce resource of them all. So what do you think? What did you guys pick as the correct answer? Right? Most of you guys who have responded, and I think most of you guys continue to respond. Okay. Some of you guys are talking about the third one. Now, but if the third one, that is skilled labor, will say, if it's skilled labor, which is the scarce or the limited resource, then you have to argue things like time, water, coal are not limited. They are unlimited. Can that be true? Get it? So they are limited. Water resources are, time is obviously a limited resource. No? Time is the most limited resource of them all. So the correct response would be, yes, the correct response would be, I think you guys are now clear on this, number 5, all of the above. Okay, right. Then a model MCQ question, the problem of scarcity exists only in economies which rely on mixed economic system, mixed system, right? No, scarcity is a common problem. It's a universal problem, right? So some of you guys are forwarding your answer. Really good, right? It's a universal problem. It's not only affecting some economies who are mixed economic system, market economic system, planned economic system, and not the others. No, you can't say that. It's a common problem. Secondly, could be eliminated if we could force prices to fall. There's two problems there. One is scarcity is not shortage, right? Price can only solve market surpluses and market shortage, or we learn market disequilibrium. Scarcity is different from a shortage or a surplus, right? Scarcity and shortage are two different things. Shortage is a temporary market disequilibrium. And even if there's a shortage, you can't solve it if the price falls. You can only solve a shortage if the price rises or increases. So therefore, number 2 is incorrect. Number 2 is incorrect, right? Number 1 is eliminated. Number 2 is eliminated. Number 3 means there is a shortage of some goods. If number 2 is understood by you why it's wrong, number 3 easily you can understand why it's wrong, because scarcity and shortage are two different things. Number 4 exists because human wants can cannot be satisfied with available resources. Yes, we don't have enough resources. That is what scarcity is. Number 5, exists now but will be eliminated with economic growth. No, scarcity is not something we can permanently solve. As long as humans live on this earth, humans will always have unlimited wants. Compared to such unlimited wants, the resources we have will be limited. Scarcity is a permanent problem, permanent human condition. Right? Okay. So correct answer number 4. I'm sure most of you who responded got it right. Yes, you have got it right. Right. 2012, due to scarcity of resources, because of scarcity, due to scarcity, right? This is where that scarcity is the central problem. Because of scarcity, other problems are created. Every society, right? Every society. So again, you are coming up with your answers. Good. Okay. Every society must undertake central planning. No. You have to have an economic system, a way of allocating resources, solving the basic economic problems. All that is true, but you can choose many methods of doing that, many economic systems, planning system, market system, mix system, you know, a traditional system, you can choose, right? But scarcity doesn't mean you have to select this particular system. That is not what we are saying. So that can't be correct. Then remember now, when you go and do the actual exam, okay, when you go and do the actual exam, you have completed the entire syllabus, no? And by that time, this now we are talking about these economic systems a bit now in these questions. When you do the actual exam, all that is covered. You understand those also then. Okay, so keep that in mind. The government must decide how to allocate resources. Yes, we must decide how to allocate resources. A choice have to be choice. The problem of choice is created because of scarcity, right? We have to decide what to produce, how to produce, whom to produce. But there's nothing saying that that decision only has to be made by the government. That's a problem. So that's why the second one is not correct. Third one, some members of each society must live in poverty. That's a very rude thing also. No, because poverty and scarcity are two different things. Poverty is not created purely because of scarcity, because scarcity affects poor and the rich both, poor and the non-poor both, right? Poverty is the inability to satisfy inability to satisfy our basic human needs, no, right? So, but poverty and scarcity are different. Of course, poor people and rich people face scarcity. Poor people face scarcity at a higher intensity. All that we know. So I think that knowledge is there for us to easily understand that number 3 is not correct, because poverty is not a result of scarcity. Poverty is not a result of scarcity. So that's out. And I said it's a root thing also. You can't select some people and say, okay, you guys live in poverty, you know, because of scarcity, right? Every society must choose among competing users. Competing users, remember, what is competing users? Alternative users of available resources. I think that's correct. Resource availability exceeds the possible users of available resources. My God, that will be utopian or a paradise to live in, because there is no scarcity there. So, I mean, that's not what paradise is all about, but there is no scarcity. So this is wrong. This is fundamentally wrong. So correct answer is number 4. Question number 5, 2016. The concept of scarcity in economics refers to a condition where, the question is, what is scarcity talking about? Right? What is scarcity talking about? Good answers are coming in. Brilliant. Society is not utilizing all of its resources in an efficient manner. Right? Then it's basically inefficiency. So this is inefficiency. Right? Scarcity and inefficiency are not the same. Scarcity and efficiency are not the same. So that is not what scarcity is. People's wants can never be satisfied with the available resources. Bit of an emotional way to say it, but there's a truth to it. Okay? Because the available resources are not enough to fulfill, inadequate, insufficient to fulfill our wants. That is the problem of scarcity. But we'll put a pin on it for now. Some members of each society, no, we talked about that. You know, your examiners use the same points sometimes again and again. right? Number 4, too many frivolous. Frivolous meaning Buddha, this unnecessary things that we buy and unnecessary expenditure we incur. We can live without those. They are not essential. They are not even important or semi-essential. No, just we can completely live without them, but we keep spending money. Goods and services produced at the expense of desirable goods and social desirable. So this concept is called, right? I'll write that here. Allocative inefficiency. Allocative inefficiency. Okay. The concept is called allocative inefficiency. Okay. Right. Allocative inefficiency. Remember, allocative inefficiency. These are not, efficiency is not connected with scarcity directly. Okay. But because of scarcity, we need to be efficient. That's a different story. So that is allocative inefficiency. Number 5, production is efficient, but distribution is inefficient. Again, allocative inefficiency. So 4 and 5 both are allocative inefficiency, not scarcity. Not scarcity. Production is efficient, but distribution is inefficient. Distribution or production doesn't become inefficient because of scarcity. No, that is not what scarcity is. Because of scarcity, we have to be efficient. That I agree. But scarcity is not the reason for inefficiency. Scarcity is not the reason for inefficiency. That is not what scarcity talks about. We are clear. And we did a special area, if you remember, conceptual difference between scarcity and efficiency. When you look at your notes, you will be reminded of that as well. Correct answer number 2. 2015. The opportunity cost of a certain activity, now we come to opportunity cost a bit, is similar to all engaged in the activity? No. No, it is not. Why? Opportunity cost is highly subjective. Opportunity cost is highly subjective. Remember? Then estimated by considering both financial cost and the income. We call this the money cost. Yes, I explained it also. We were very clear as a feature. We look at the money cost and the income foregone, right? The money cost on the outside inputs we buy in production and the income foregone from using our own inputs in production. That's very correct. Theoretically correct. Estimated only by the financial cost? No, that's out. This is out. Estimated only by considering income foregone? No, we have to take both. Then considering only direct benefit? No, direct benefit is not the opportunity cost. Direct benefit is the reason we pay money and buy something or incur cost and do something to get the benefit. Opportunity cost is the benefit foregone or the value of whatever we have given up. So that is not opportunity cost. Correct answer number 2. Correct answer number 2. Then 2020, a bit of a recent paper, a free good has which one of the following characteristics? A free good has which one of the following characteristics? Okay, remember, free good. Fundamental thing we used was opportunity cost, economic, non-economic, right? Remember. So free goods, we said, has 0 opportunity cost. Know that concept, no opportunity cost. Has some degree of scarcity in relation? No. If it's free good, non-economic good, can't have scarcity. It has no opportunity cost. That's technically spot on and correct. We have to agree. Its consumption and production externalities? No, we don't divide economic, non-economic based on externalities with that. Right? So that's out. Supply by the government? No. Free goods are not supplied by any party. It's available by nature, naturally supplied. It is supplied by government because the consumption is socially? No. Supplied because why? Free goods are naturally available. Correct answer number 2. All of you have got the correct answer. I'm pretty confident. 2011. An economic good is one which has an opportunity cost in production. We have to agree with it, Buddha. We can't look beyond it, actually. We can't go beyond it. Then it says does not use up resources. That's nonsense. No. It uses scarce resources. Is supplied competitively? Yes. Free economic goods are supplied competitively, but sometimes there can be markets that are more monopoly markets. What is a monopoly market? Only one seller. Only one seller is there. So in a monopoly market, then there is no competition, but it can be an economic good. Now in Sri Lanka, railway department, railway service, right? Railway service is an economic good, economic service, obviously, but it's in a monopoly, no competition, right? So that's out. Makes profits? No, just because you are producing and supplying an economic good, that doesn't mean all the firms produce and supply economic goods. No, that doesn't mean all firms are making profits. No. Is available even at zero price? Yes, economic goods can be available at zero price. Economic goods can be available at zero price, but we don't judge between an economic good and a free good, right? Based on whether there is a price or not. Remember, right? We are clear on that. So we eliminate that. Correct answer number 1. Okay, right. Question 9. All true or false questions. All economic resources are production resources, but all production resources are not economic resources. This we will learn this particular concept. We learn under learning key, actually learning key 4. Okay, we are in learning key 3. So in learning key 4, we talk about it. For now, right, I will simply give you the answer. Don't worry, we will understand it when we do that. It's in the wrong place. There are a few in the wrong place. It is said that wants derive or create needs in people. True or false? Is it wants that create needs, or is it needs that create wants? This statement is saying this: wants create needs. Yes, it's false, because needs create wants, not the other way around. So it's false. Okay. A free good can become an economic good in certain instances, but an economic good will not become a free good under any circumstance. Absolutely true. We talked about it, right? Remember that whole free lunch story? We talked about it, right? We are clear. Then D, a good available in abundance at zero price when the supply is available is essentially a non-economic good or a free good. That is true. That is a definition of a free good. We are clear on that. That is true. All goods provided by the government are pure public goods. This again, we will learn about this. I'll explain a bit now, but we will learn about this more actually in a whole separate unit, which is unit 8. In the revision, of course, I talk about in unit 1, but in theory, we learn it in unit 8 first. Right? So this is false. False. Right? I'll explain public goods in a bit. The statement that there is no free lunch means all economic goods carry an opportunity cost, even though provided free at times to end user. Very true. That's the exact idea of there is nothing called a free lunch or there is no free lunch. G, the difference between a good and a bad is the ability to create utility. Very true. Goods create utility, bads create disutility or cannot create utility. So that is true. Okay, what is a public good, Buddha? Any idea on the concept? Then, okay, before I explain that, I'll just touch on this also. You guys need to know, your friends who are coming for the physical classes, right? I get the time, Putta, but we started a bit late. So you guys need to give me a few more minutes, please. Okay, right. Your friends who come for the physical classes, do this. And I would encourage you guys also to try and do this. This is, you should not only answer these questions, right? You should not only answer these questions, but also, okay, I'm getting a few messages because as you guys know, last Sunday, the 2021 advanced level students got their results, and always every year, the day the students get results, it's a very happy and an important day in their lives, equally it's a happy and important day in our lives, because 2 years plus few months of effort that we put in with the kids, right, where we work together, all the fruits of that effort, the return on investment comes with the results. So like every year, there are outstanding performances this year also. Overall, students who have reported the results on our website, Putha, you might have seen if you went to the website recently. We have we do that since 2020 batch. We have a method of online submitting results. So we collect all the results, then they send us messages. Now also some students are sending messages asking. Some of them who have got very good island ranks, district ranks, very impressive results. They want to come and meet me in person. So they want to know the time and all that. Anyway, good that I saw that message so that I can just talk to you guys about the results also. So overall, up to now, the results we have got are really good. We are analyzing them. We will let you know the final outcome of it. But based on what we can see at present, like every batch before 2021, the 2021 batch also has outstanding performance. We have been able to maintain up to now the pass rates at a very high level. And as always, they have made the best use of perhaps the most comprehensive learning program for economics for local advanced levels in English medium, i.e. the Econ-Hub program, which you guys are virtually a part of, right? So what those kids also have done, and I'm asking you to do is, Putha, we have to really, as soon as possible, early as possible, start writing pen on paper, right? It's important. It's done this way. Pen on paper, we have to write answers. Take foolscap paper, right? And start writing answers. Read the notes, go through the notes. If you need, use the recorded version and watch some of the explanations I'm doing. Use all the learning resources you have. But at one point, you need to sit down, take foolscap paper and start writing answers. Unless you put pen on paper and start writing answers, you will never be ready for the exam. And it's never too early to start writing answers. So my intelligent students, take this to your heart, take this to your mind, right? And put it to practice, Putha. Start writing answers. As we say in Sinhalese, hariyanna hari, waradinna hari, do it. Then only you will improve. Okay? Without writing answers, pen on paper, we can't do this. So please write answers. If you want to learn how to swim, can you read a book and learn how to swim? Can you read the best-selling New York Times best-selling book on swimming and learn how to swim? Can you say, now I know how to swim after reading the book from cover to cover? Yes? No. If you want to learn how to swim, instead of dipping your toes in the swimming pool, you have to jump into the swimming pool, right? Don't jump to the deep end, please, without knowing how to swim. But, right, you have to learn how to swim. You have to do that. You have to get into the pool. Getting into the pool is, for us, putting pen on paper, writing the answer. If you want to become a really good cricketer, batsman or a bowler, you have to practice in the nets. You can't read books about cricket and become a good cricketer. You can't be a good, musician, a singer by just reading about music and, voice and chords and whatever not and all that. You have to do it, Putha. So therefore, put pen on paper and do the practice. The old saying is valid. It's ever valid, right? Practice makes it perfect. The more practice you bring by writing answers, better you will become. That's the simple logic. So do it. So when you write answers, as I said, go through the notes, use some of the recorded version and listen to some of the explanations if you want to get everything sorted, right? Study the area, and then so what you do is put this. First step is read the question, right? First question says, explain why scarcity leads to trade-offs, right? Or you can understand all these questions are from Learning Key 3. No? So you know what we covered in Learning Key 3. Go through the notes, read everything, understand, remember. then go watch the recorded version of the lectures, whatever the areas you need to do that, all that, and then take foolscap paper, sit in a place, put pen on paper and start writing answers. Maybe do 1 or 2 questions at a time. Don't try to do everything at the same time and hammer it out, right? Just go through that practice. Then when you answer these questions, there are these verbs, we call them verbs, right? You need to be clear with the verbs. Now here the verb is explain. Okay, here the verb is what is meant by. Okay, and distinguish, explain. What do this mean? When we say explain, you have to understand, Buddha, you have to mainly provide the definition of the concepts. Scarcity, trade-off, make sure you give the definition. If there's a link between them, show that link. So it's, and also the format for all of these verbs that you see in these questions, 10, 11, 12, 13, the format of the answer, that's also important. Format of the answer is para, right? I'll say paras, meaning paragraphs. You have to use paragraphs and write answers, not the points, okay? Not the one-line things, right? So that's, we will learn more about the verbs and the techniques of writing answers, how to do this in the revision. That's a program for that. But for now, pen on paper, practice makes it perfect. So keep practicing. Write paragraph-based answers. When we say explain, when we say distinguish, give the definitions of the concept properly. Also keep in mind how many marks you are getting. 4 marks is a full question, by the way, right? So therefore, write a good answer, provide a proper definition. We have learned how to define scarcity, trade-offs, meaning choice, no? So do that. And then, Buddha, you show the link, connection. Question 12, distinguish between, now what is within brackets in question 11? That part you don't have to answer. We haven't done it, no? Right? Just focus on the part you can answer. It's past paper, I can't change it. Distinguish between bad good, economic good, and free good. 4 marks, meaning 1 mark each, no? So don't write the full detailed definition of these concepts. The basic definition with the key points, write them. That's how you distinguish. When you say distinguish, Pata, don't do this side-by-side thing, right? Don't do that. And this kind of a question, you can't do it. There are 4 concepts. Quickly write in very brief way, proper way. Use the knowledge you have and use the way we have defined. Definitions, Pata, try to use them the exact way we have learned. Because definitions we can't create. We can't change the definitions also. So use them and remember them and use them in the way we have learned. So write the definitions, right? Then you're okay. Even though it says distinguish, that is the expectation, the definitions. So again, the last one also it says explain. So define, paragraph based, get it done. Okay. I know it's very late. Public goods, let's finish with this, right? So that we can start economic resources with the next session. Right? Okay. Public goods. What is a public good? The normal understanding when someone says public is, we look at the state or the government. So people think public goods are, that's not wrong, but it's wrong in economics. People think public goods are goods provided by the government. Anything provided by the government is a public good. No, in economics, that is not the definition. That's the key. In economics, if something is to be a public good, there are 2 conditions. One, it has to be non-rival. We use this word actually, right? And number 2, it has to be non-excludable. Non-excludable. I'll use the example, right? I'll use the example of, right? I'll use the example of a lighthouse, right? I'll use the example of a lighthouse to explain this to you. A lighthouse is a good example of a public good. Now, the job of the lighthouse is, right? If there is, you know, these boats and ships and I don't know what I'm drawing, right? Big ships and things like that traveling in the ocean. The job of the lighthouse is to give them the beam of light so that they can follow this beam of light and find a nearby, you know, we'll say harbor or a port or something, right? To get to the harbor or the port, you guide the ships. Now, if there are 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 ships on a given night that are in the sea and coming towards the harbor, all of those 10 or 20 or 30 or 50 ships, all of them can look at the light from the lighthouse at the same time. Meaning it's non-rival, Putta. Many people can use it, use the service, use the product at the same time without one person affecting the other. We used this word earlier, remember? Collective consumption. If collective consumption is possible, that means it's non-rival. So yes, many ships can look at the light at the same time, guided by the light, they can go to the harbor. So lighthouse is non-rival in consumption, collective consumption. Then non-excludable. What does non-excludable mean? Non-excludable means whether you are willing to pay a price or not, you can't be excluded, stopped from consuming the good. Once it's provided, whether you are willing to pay or not, whether it's you are a non-payer or a payer, doesn't matter. You get the service. Now, Buddha, can the lighthouse keeper, person in the lighthouse, call one of these ships and ask, okay, you know, we'll say there's a ship called, I don't know, ship A, right? Call the captain of ship A and ask, ship A, do you want the light? The captain of ship A says, yes, we want the light to go to the harbor at night. Then the lighthouse keeper says, okay, if you want our light to be guided by our light, you have to pay 5,000, example. Then the captain of the ship says, no, we don't want the light. That's okay. Can the lighthouse keeper switch off the light? Can you stop that? No, because there are other ships. Everyone needs to be guided. So obviously, whether you are willing to pay or not, ship A, who is not willing to pay, will still get the light. You can't stop. There's no way to stop. Or you can have to, the lighthouse keeper will have to tell the captain, okay, now if you're not paying, don't look at our light. Close your eyes or whatever. Nonsense, no, Buddha. So non-excludable. Can't stop payers and non-payers from consuming, and even non-payers can consume. We call it free riders are there. So whenever these two qualities are there, that is what we call a public good. So there are things provided by the government that are not public goods. They are private goods, even though they are provided by the government. So we say all goods provided by the government are purely not public goods. That's wrong. Government can also provide non-public or private goods. The word is private goods. If you take SLTV buses, if you take railway services, if you take electricity, you know, if you don't pay your electricity bill, what would the CEB do? Would they keep saying, because you're not paying the bill, don't use electricity? Yeah, we can't stop, we have to give you, but don't know. What would they do? They will come and cancel your connection. They will stop you, will exclude you, right? So, in Sri Lanka, the situation at the moment is, Buddha, when electricity is provided to one part of the country, right? Because we have a shortage in the supply or generation of electricity. When electricity is provided to one part of the country, it's there's a power cut in another part of the country. So every Sri Lankan cannot enjoy electricity at the same time. It's rival in consumption. There's a competition in consumption. We were affected by that when we started the class today. Get it? So, but just because something is provided by the government in economics, we don't call it a what good? Public good. No. For us to call it a public good, it has to be non-rival and it has to be non-excludable. Right. So I'll stop there. I think we are okay. You guys are clear on the concept? Yes. Ladies, gentlemen, clear on the concept? Yes. Right. Excellent. So with that, let me stop the recording. Next week, we are starting something very